Hello, everybody. This is a extremely sad story that I'm about to put out, and I don't usually do these kind of stories. But I think because of the issues that happen in this story, we need to talk about it, and we need to make a bigger conversation on um, what is really going on, what is really going on in our world today, and why are these things happening. Um, Sometimes it's hard for me to believe that stuff like this happens, and I need to know what gets people to the point where they make these bad decisions and nobody is out there to help them. So the story that I'm going to be talking about today is an Oklahoma mother of three. She unalives herself and her children. I'm going to read the story in a minute, but I just want to give you some backstory because broke my heart to know that this mom, over the last past several months, this mom, police have been called out to this mom's house for domestic and mental health situations. And it seemed like nothing was done because this mama felt like her only option was to take her life and her kids' life. What kind of world are we living in where unaliving somebody and ideations of committing, you know, suicides out there? Like, what kind of world are we living in where a moms feel like her only out is to take her children away from here? What kind of world are we living in when we don't care what happens to our kids? Like, I'm a mama and I would never ever take my children's life. Like, I wouldn't. If I was depressed or if I was having that would be the last thing on my mind would be to unalive my kids. But we're gonna get into this story. Um, I dropped the link if you want to come up. Um, the story is really like hard to read. I mean, for real. Okay, so it says Oklahoma mother of three, including an infant, unalived in a murder suicide. A mother of three young children, including an infant, were found unalive inside their Oklahoma home Thursday in what police are investigating as a murder suicide. The tragic outcome in the small town of Verdigris come after a mother was involved in an hour-long standoff with authorities. Police responded to the scary situation after an unidentified woman told them that the mother, armed with a pow pow, briefly held her hostage in the garage. Police Chief Jack Shackelfield said. The woman was able to flee and alert a passing cop at around 4 o'clock that there were kids in the home. The cops called for backup, and dozens of law enforcement officers from different agencies, including SWAT teams, surrounded the house. About 3.5 hours later, at 7:30, officers entered the house and found the bodies of the woman and her three kids. They also recovered a handgun at the scene. The identities of the victims have not been released, but authorities said they are treating it as a murder suicide investigation. Officers had responded to this same home, for domestic violence and mental health calls several times in the past. If you responded to this home several times in the past for um, domestic violence and mental health calls, why was nothing done? Okay. Now that was the article from the New York Post. Okay. But there are other articles that, pretty much go into, a detail of what really happened. And it's just so sad. Um, I don't know. Like, I feel like I need to, but I want to play this video for you. So if you'll give me a minute, hold on one second.
Bureau of Investigation, Hunter McKee, says that Verdigris police were driving in the neighborhood at 4 p.m. near East Dogwood Court and Cypress Street.
Okay, here we go. We're going to play this clip from the news.
Bureau of Investigation, Hunter McKee, says that Verdigris police were driving in the neighborhood at 4 p.m. near East Dogwood Court and Cypress Street when they noticed fireworks erupting outside of a home. Police went to investigate when they heard those fireworks and discovered that there was an armed and barricaded person inside of the home. They tried to make contact, and that's when a standoff ensued for the next 3 hours. After no response, they decided to make entry into the home where they found an adult woman along with three children dead inside, all with apparent gunshot wounds. That woman has now been identified by OSBI as 39-year-old Brandy McCaslin. Neighbors I talked to say McCaslin grew up in that same house since she was a little girl. We also spoke with the father of the 10-month-old who was killed via social media. And while he confirmed it was his son who was killed, he understandably was not ready to talk about the tragedy. When you're talking about four individuals who are dead, three children, this is extremely difficult for everybody involved.
A 10-month-old was the youngest. I don't know if you heard it. It does sometimes play really low and then it goes back up high pitch. But this lady took a 10-month-old's life. Okay, so I'm gonna read this article from the news or whatever. Okay, Verdigris, Oklahoma. A woman and her three children were found dead in an Oklahoma home Thursday evening in what may be a murder suicide following the hour-long standoff, authorities said. The name of the victims weren't immediately released. The standoff began in a small town of Verdigris, a subdivision of East Tulsa, when police officers driving along the street saw fireworks coming from inside the garage of a house, according to Oklahoma State Bureau investigation. Hunter McKee It was also at that time officers knew that there was something wrong, went to investigate and called for backup, McKee said. The officers saw what the police chief Jack Shuckle described as a Roman candle firework and found the woman with her three kids in the garage dead. The woman, she said, had taken another child from the home for supervised visitations and was met with an armed woman who took the child and locked the woman out. Shackelford said several agencies surrounded the house, including SWAT teams from the Cherokee National, following a 3-hour standoff. With no response from inside the house, McKee said officers entered the home and found the adult woman and three children dead with gunshot wounds. The three children were believed to be in age range from 10 months to 11 years old. The handgun was found at the scene of the killing and are being investigated as a murder suicide, authorities said. Shackelford said officers went to the home several times in the past for domestic and mental health calls. It was not immediately known how the two women knew each other. This is a sad story, and I don't know what part is mental health. It ain't saying what the domestic violence could have been or what domestic part of it was, but I'm telling you from this story to um, even the one that's happening in our state with Carly Russell. Carly Russell, about a week ago, well, actually, it was she got home a week ago today, but a little over a week ago on Thursday night, she called the police, okay, and said that she saw a baby walking on Interstate 459. And she said she was going to stay with the babies until the police arrived. Well, clearly everybody's seen the video. The police was there pretty quick because it's Hoover Police Department. They do amazing, amazing work. They're not overcrowded. They don't get a lot of crime, so they're really on it. It's pretty, you know, more affluential neighborhood, a little more of a wealth, and they just don't have this kind of thing happening. So they reacted really, really fast. They was there within like 3.5 minutes from the time she made the phone call. But before they even got there, Carly Russell was nowhere to be found. They didn't see a sign of struggle or nothing. They just her phone, her watch, her AirPods, everything was left in the car. Her phone was outside of the car, but on the side of the road. Her wig was in the car, and nobody knew where she was. Okay. And so, if you're like a resident from Alabama, of course, you know 459 is this really woody area where she stopped. It was this really woody area, but behind there is a little subdivision behind it. If you go into the woods, you can climb over the fence, go down a steep hill, and you'll be in that little subdivision area. Um, so anyway, we're just gonna skip that part. Anyway, they did searches for this girl, everything. A week ago today, okay, she got home to her house just out of the blue. And she came home with this cockamamie story about some man, a white man with orange hair and a bald spot in the back of his head came out of the woods and said they was coming to check on the baby and then kidnapped her and the baby. Okay. And upon them kidnapping her and the baby, made her jump over the fence and took her to an 18-wheeler where she escaped there. And then they put her in a car and she escaped there. And this lady was feeding her Cheez Its and playing in her hair. Okay. And so upon the police doing the amazing investigation, they went back and redid everything before the disappearance and come to find out Carly herself had went to Target right before she went up on the freeway, and she bought the cheeses, and she also bought some granola bars, which were not found in the car. So it's seeming like she took the cheeses, the granola bars, and she jumped over the fence, and probably had somebody waiting in that little subdivision for her. And she had also been searching stuff like um, do you have to pay for Amber Alert? What's the age for Amber Alert? Um, Bus tickets to one way to from Birmingham to Nashville. Um, stuff how to steal money from a register, the movie Taken. Um, this is when I call these people smart, stupid people. Okay, they're so smart that they do stupid stuff. You were smart enough to research all this stuff, but you were stupid enough to research it on your device. You were smart enough to try to do this egg, but you were stupid to, buy the same snakes on the same day you're doing it. You like they wasn't going to investigate. Um, this is what I call smart stupid. But beyond me is the fact that she came back and said it was a white man with orange hair. Okay, and like I said, I've been living in Alabama all my life. And I've visited all over the world, and never once have I seen a white man with orange hair. Um, that just is not it. And a lot of people are making fun of her, and it's really crazy. But I just wanted to know what is really wrong with the world. Like, all this stuff that be happening, and the list goes on and on and on about the craziness that we see that be going on in this world. And it's like nobody wants to talk about what is really going on. And so the more everybody digs into like the Carly Russell story, it's like stuff like she was posting on her social media how people are jealous of her for having this stuff and for having such a good life and for doing so great and she can have any man she wants. But it seemed like she was having issues with her man and with him breaking up with her right before all this happened. And it's like, are you depressed? Are you having a psychotic episode? Um, like why don't these people get help before the situation comes to a point where somebody is hurt? Like, what is going on in this world? And that's why I entitled this video "What's Going On in This World," because it was just so many things that was just like making me just sad. Because here it is, oh my god, here it is, this mom you know is taken. And I believe the kids were 11, 8, and 10 months. So she's taking lives of babies, okay? And then for Carly, she's playing around with missing babies and kidnapping stories. And it's like the people around them failed them because there had to be some signs there. So the people around them failed them. Don't fail the people that's around you. Okay? Don't fail them. Because this mom that took her baby's lives And Carly, who's faking kidnapping, is making the world feel crazy. That mom, you had to know that mom was going through something before she took those babies' lives and before she took her life. Like that mom taking an 11-year old, an 8-year old, and a 10-month old and shooting them before turning around and shooting herself. What kind of world are we living in? Why was there not enough help for her to get help? And then the police to say, oh, well, they responded for domestic violence and they responded for um, mental issues in the past. It's like, why didn't she get the help that she needed before this happened? Like, why didn't she get that help? Why is these resources not readily available for people to get the help that they need? And for Carly Russell to sit here and say that it was a child on the side of the road and then she said she was kidnapped, why are the resources not in place to save these women? Listen here, people. I know this is a lot. Like, I'm really purging myself talking about this because it made me so emotional. And I don't do videos. Like I said, I don't do videos on this stuff. But I had to. And later on, I'm going to have to, update my video for this because, um, yeah, I didn't even put anything in the description box because I was so all over the place. Okay, can you hear me? I'm sorry. I kind of exited out of it, getting upset and um, so um, I just don't know what's wrong with these people, and I need you to know that there are services out there to help you if you're having a breakdown, if you need help. Um, and I want you to be able to get those helps. Okay. Um, so if you're in that same situation as Brandy, because that's what we found out the mom's name was Brandy. If you're in that same situation where you're thinking taking your own your own life, if you're thinking about harming yourself, any of those things, there are there's help available for you. Um, if you want to on your phone, you can dial 988, and that's for the suicide and crisis hotline, lifeline. Um, dial 988. You can talk to somebody. You can also text 988 if you want to chat with them. There's also a website to help you out if you need to talk to somebody. And these services are available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even if you're speaking Spanish, these services are available to you. Let these people help you. If you want to, reach out to them, their website is 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org. Okay. There's somebody out there that can help you um, if you need help. I'm telling you. I promise you, there's ways to help you. There's another one for Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance. They have a suicide hotline and helpline information. Okay, and it is 1-800-273-8255. Again, the number is 1-800-273-8255. Um, and if you're veterans in crisis, once you call that number, you can hit one. Okay, it's directed. There's also the Crisis and Suicide Prevention Hotline. Okay, and they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, you can call 1-855-crisis. Okay, or you can say 1-855-274-7471. I'm telling you this because there are so many resources out there that we don't take advantage of. There's also the National Hope Line. It's a network for suicide and crisis hotline as well, okay? And their number is 1-800-442-HOPE. And their number again is 1-800-442-4673, okay? The Hope is 4673. Don't feel like you have to do this stuff alone. There are services out there to help you if you need it. I hate it. I hate it that these two women are two women that I feel like should have called that hotline. Because I felt like they needed help. These was all cries for help. Um, granted that Carlos may have been selfish, whereas Brandy's may have been mental because they kept saying they're getting calls for mental health and for domestic violence. And we all know that domestic violence stories are a little different, but there's help out there for everybody. If you need those resources, please reach out to somebody. If you're scared to reach out to them, talk to somebody that's close to you. Get the help that you need. Okay? What's wrong with this world today is We don't reach out to each other like we used to. We don't let people know that there's help available. We don't try to help people like we used to. I know back in the day, you had like neighborhood watch, and people would watch your houses for you, and you knew your neighbors, and you talked to them on a daily basis. And for some people, that's still the same. Like they still do that. Like I know all my neighbors. Like I talk to them. Like we watch each other. You know what I'm saying? We watch out for each other. But what happens when a crisis hits you? When you feel like there's no one to turn to, I urge you, please, okay, if you don't do anything else in this world, I urge you, if you're going through a crisis and you really want to get the help that you need, and you feel like taking your life or your kid's life or someone close to you before you do anything else, and I'm begging you, I'm praying that you call one of these hotlines I've given out. I don't know how many numbers, but I will give them out to you again, okay? I promise you I will. I will give them all out to you again, okay? So the shortest number to call, okay, is the Suicide and Crisis Help hotline, okay? And that's 988. It's no 1-800 numbers, no nothing. 988. Push it on your cell phone. You'll be connected to somebody instantly. Text the number 988. They'll be there instantly, okay? These are 24 hours, 7 days a week. They speak English and Spanish, okay? I'm telling you, just get the help that you need, okay? Okay, then we're gonna move on to the next number, okay, which is the suicide hotline and helpline information. That number is 1-800-273-8255, and the 8255 stands for talk, okay? 1-800-273-talk, which is 8255, okay? And if you're a veteran dealing with something, they said to press one with that one, okay? The other one is the crisis and suicide prevention. Again, open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You can call this number 1-800-274-7471. 1-855-274-7471. Please call these numbers. And the last one is the National Hope Line Network. They deal with suicide and crisis hotline, okay? This program of the Christian Brook Hope Center. Hope Line provides support and trained counselors through the national hotline to prevent suicide and crisis events, okay? And their number is 1-800-442-HOPE. 1-800-442-4673. Please reach out to these people, okay? And I'm pretty sure there's services in your area that will help you with this. But if you're just in a right now, I need somebody to talk to, please call one of these numbers. Please don't do something that can't be undone. Let's quit turning our back and turning our head and losing support. There are people that love you and care for you and want to see you reach your most highest potentials. You are born for a purpose. Your life matters. Your life means something. I just need you to know your life means something to somebody. So if you're in there and you're in a crisis situation, please get the help that you need. Thank you for joining me. This was really hard for me. I just want you to know that there are services available to help you if you're in a crisis. Again, if you need those numbers one more time, I'll give them to you. So for the National Hope Line, it's 1-800 442 4673. The crisis hotline, if you're in a crisis and you need help, is 1-855 274 You shouldn't be taking kids' life. We shouldn't be faking a kidnapping story. We shouldn't be doing none of this. Let's get these people the help we need. If you just got a cell phone, text 988 or dial 988. There's somebody there to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I just want you to be blessed, be safe, and to learn to love on somebody because your life is precious. Your life is important. You are blessed. Life. God didn't put you here to suffer in silence. He didn't put you here to suffer. He doesn't do that. He loves you even when you don't love yourself. Y'all stay blessed and be safe. And let's start praying and reaching out to people and supporting everybody. Let's give the love. I'm going to lead this one with a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you as humble as I know how. Lord, I know that there are some people that's hurting, that has a heavy heart. Lord, I ask that you go in and touch them. Let them know that whatever their struggle is, whatever they're going through, you are right there. You are there to deliver them. If they're struggling financially, Lord, touch their pockets. Make a way for them to know that you are there. You are unchanging and unwilling to let them suffer. Touch their heart, Lord, and lead them in a direction where they know they are worthy and that you are worthy to be praised. In your son Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I thank you all for joining me on this live. I know it's really emotionally. We was talking about death and fake kidnappings, but let's start loving on somebody. Let's start, being there for one another. I really need you to know that somebody loves you. Okay. And if nobody told you today that they loved you, let me tell you, I love you. I am grateful for you. I am thankful for you. And I am praying for you. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe, and stay prayed up because this world is going to a place that I don't understand and I don't recognize, but I'm going to keep on praying. And I know God's hand is in it. And with Him in it, He is not going to lose. Okay. So y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe. If you need any help on anything, please leave your state, your city, and what you need help on in the comments, and I'll get that video out to you. Thank you. Be blessed. Bye.